finally getting back to me, my art. All I want to do is art, and the other thing is that I love stories. So like to me, art isn't everything. Your art is your voice, your speaking, your connection. You can feel everyone's energy. That's your art. It's the art of living to me. So art and hustle to me is the art of living, the art of it and everything.
I hope that you cut that piece right there and make it your intro and your outro, because that was dope.
And
Hello.
hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Once again, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Well, we can just jump right in. Welcome to the Art and Hustle Gallery of Conversations. I am so happy to have you here. Can you introduce yourself a little bit?
My name is Gregory Sanniez. My mother was a past coworker of yours.
Yes, amazing. Deborah Hill, who is a phenomenal person, one of my really, really good friends, phenomenal artist, director, creative director, everything, right? And she's your stepmother.
Right, exactly. Yeah, stepmother doesn't even describe our relationship. That's, I love her so much and I appreciate everything. And she's so talented, so.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's like I feel like I have her all to myself, like just this wonderful, great, and that just has a great presence and has so much talent. I can just tap into her whenever I do need her in my life.
I think like that's super like phenomenal that you feel that way, because that's how I feel about her. So I think it's phenomenal that you also can see that, because it's hard when you're like so close to that person and she's also a mother figure that's supposed to be guiding you. So the fact that you feel that, I think is just great.
That's great. It's fantastic.
So we want to just let everybody know, everybody who's enjoying my podcast, if they can click and help me by clicking subscribe, like, comment, and share, because that helps the algorithm. And also, Greg, you have a podcast also, right? What's the name of your podcast?
Oh, yeah. I have a podcast. It's called The Stoop Kids. On everywhere from like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, usually any podcast streaming service that you can get on, you can find it. And we basically talk about pop culture, movies, video games, music, and a whole bunch of stuff that we like. So it's really great. I would love everybody to check it out as well too.
Yeah, if everybody can click subscribe on his podcast too, I'm going to add it to the edit once I do it.
Thank you.
So I want to let everybody know. So we came on today because I saw you the other day on Monday, I think it was, when you came to pick up your birthday present or Christmas present. I think it was Christmas present, right?
Right,
Christmas present that I collaborated with your mother, Deb, on it. So tell us what you thought and your reaction from it.
I mean, you saw my reaction. My jaw just.
I know. I should have recorded it, right? I should have recorded it.
Like my jaw just literally dropped. Like I was just so insane. And so the piece was it was inspired by Basquiat's painting Glen. And I remember the first time I seen it in the MoMA, and I think it was on the second floor, just walking up the stairs. It was the first thing I saw, and my eyes just literally stopped, and I'm just looking at this big colossal head, and it's just the collage.
How big was it?
I really don't know dimensions, but it was literally the whole wall.
The whole wall. So it was very like prominent in your face, right? Okay.
Right. So ever since then, like I just fell in love with it. Like, I don't know if you notice now, like, well, from my Zoom picture, like that painting is if I don't show my camera, that painting is the picture. Like, I've always been in love with it. And so when I saw your rendition of it, my jaw just dropped. Like, I literally saw the face. And then I'm like, okay, let me go in and let me see what's going on. And then I love the fact that, we talked about it before, but I love the fact that it wasn't a carbon copy. You put your own original twist on it.
Yeah, I call it the Basquiat remix.
Right, exactly. And it's perfect. And it's just like something, and there's so much texture in it as well. So it's like, you want to look through and see, what's going on. But then it's like, all right, you want to touch it here, there, and there.
Yeah.
And it's just so, like, I'm going to put it up today, but I just have...
Ooh, you should do like a little video of the wall and all of it, and then
Oh, I
If
should.
you do that, that'd be awesome. Maybe I can add it to this podcast. That would be cool.
Okay, I'll definitely send you the footage. Okay, that sounds great. And but it's wonderful. Like I have it in the living room right now, and I just like at all times of the day, like at night and then night in the morning and during noon when the sun just hits it. I'm just like, it's so beautiful. And I'm just like, this is mine.
Did your roommate see it too?
Oh yeah, he saw it. I mean, it was the first thing that he saw when I brought it in the house, and he was just like, "Oh my goodness, like that's cool." And he was just like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it up right there, like right above the sofa, so it's just like the focal piece of the living room."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm so freaking happy, like like you can see my smile right now, but like it just makes me so happy, and I'm just so appreciative of your work.
I loved it. I mean, like that's one of the joys I like to do is that when I'm doing a commission piece, like you want to make sure that that the person who's receiving it is happy. So to me, like you as a chef too, like you're not fully. I feel like it's not fully done and happy until you've seen that person's reaction to it, or they've taken a bite of your food, or they've seen the painting. So I love to surprise the people with the paintings, but also I'm hoping that I'm getting the that they're receiving the joy from it too, like how I love it too.
Right. And trust me, it was definitely there. Like it's like I look at it day by day and I just love it more and more and more.
Mm-hmm.
So it's,
yeah.
like, it's wonderful. And then I can agree too, because like you said, like when I do cook, it's just like, okay, I'm finished cooking, but the job's not done until the client is eating. And then, you hear that, they're quiet. And so it's like, all right, this is going on. No, they're quiet because they're enjoying their food. So
yeah. But you want to still know, like, okay, how was that first bite? Like, what did you think of that first bite? And I've been loving doing these collages, and I love doing them of people's themes of what they love and also things I love. And I love collaging it all together because to me, it's a beautiful rendition of like collaging pieces of life together.
Right.
And then you adding like little bits of, paint here and gold leaf here, because, like really like my life, how I've put it together, it's messy and sometimes it's crazy and sometimes it's beautiful, but it's like a mix of everything. And I'm starting to get into my own voice as an artist, because it's hard to figure out like growing up in a very like strong family, because I feel like you can relate to that too, because I felt why you would like Glenn, because I've always heard about you through Deb and heard about your father, and like it's a strong family, and you have to find your voice within that strong family too. And Glenn is like, listen, I'm here and listen to me.
Right. No, exactly. Like I'm here, and I look at it, it's like, okay, this is my face, I'm here, but at the same time, there's so many different aspects that does make me as well, and that comprises of me. So it's just like, I'm literally, this is my chance. Like now that I've become older and I have like, all right, I moved out, I have a stepping stone, and I can put my foot down in certain areas. It's just like, okay, I can finally express myself fully.
Yeah.
And, I don't have to worry about, how you might take me or not, because at the end of the day, I'm doing something, I'm always going to do something that's positive. And, we're, as a family, we're always going to be together, but it's just like, I have to be happy for myself, and I have to let the world know that, hey, this is me and this is what I love to do.
Yeah. And I would love to dig into that a little more of you as a person and where you grew up, your nationality, and tell me a little bit of your background of like how your childhood was.
Okay. So growing up, like my parents, before they did split, they lived in Queens. So they lived in Queens, and my mom went to Long Island. My dad came to the city. Mm-hmm. So growing up, I would go to school in Long Island, and then on the weekends I would.
What part of Long Island?
Baldwin, Baldwin, New York.
Is that Nassau or Suffolk?
Yeah, it's Nassau.
Nassau, okay, because I grew up in Suffolk.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, Nassau County. So weekdays I'm at Long Island. Weekends I'm in the city, and that's when my dad met Deb, and then I'm like, okay, this is cool. And it was at first I think I was shy. I was a little shy kid at first. I can't lie, but
mm-hmm.
I was always a pretty artistic kid. So when I did get to meet Deb, I just realized she was an artist, and like she had basically our art studio space was inside the apartment. So I got to look at different paintings and things like that. And like, she would just teach me, things, and teach me what she does with the paint and different techniques. And then we got to and she brought a canvas for me and got to work on it together.
Mm-hmm.
They were just like really highlighted moments of my childhood that I always appreciate.
Yeah.
she really did help me through a lot, just having two strong parents and helping me find my face, find my way, like, because I feel like I'm playing, it's like tug of war. Both of them and I'm in the middle, but Deb was definitely that pillar of light that just to help me glide right through. And, I express myself to her, because she was somebody, she was in the situation, but she was able to distance herself. So she was able to view it from a different
and give you that support and listen to you and make sure that you're being heard in this like struggle.
Right. So, I don't regret any of it because it made me the person I am today. I feel like I am a very interpersonal person. I'm able to relate to a lot of different people, and it's a beautiful thing. It helps me with work. It helps me with my cooking. With my catering business, GKNY Catering.
Awesome.
It's a combination of my dad. So my dad is Nigerian, and all my life, my dad has always cooked. So like I would be his sous chef, chop up a bell pepper, chop up the onions, smash the garlic. So I would always be prepping and stuff for him. So he would teach me different things. And I've always loved Asian culture. And my dad is probably, since I was the age of 6, I've been eating with chopsticks.
Oh, so, that's awesome. And where's he from and your mom from?
So my dad, he's from Lagos, Nigeria. And my mom, she was born in New York, but her family's from South Carolina. I would say like Bishopville, South, very, very rural South Carolina. So that's basically what my cooking is. My cooking is basically just a culmination of my African heritage, my African American heritage, and my admiration for Asian culture. Just putting it together, like for instance, like my collard greens. I make collard greens with bento stock. With my miso, I make a miso gochujang glazed salmon with my jerk chicken.
I love it. We're gonna have to do an Artandhustle little mix here party or something.
Oh yeah, no, most definitely. Not to my own horn, but I'm fantastic at what I do.
I feel the energy that you love it, and I think I'm gonna love it too because I love food. So I think that would be a cool like little mix. Do like an Artandhustle / a little bit of everything that you do too.
Right. No, that sounds fantastic. So, and that's only one aspect about me. Then there's that. I love science. I went to Penn State for biobehavioral health, and now I'm planning on doing a master's program in biotechnology at the University of Morehouse, at Morehouse University School of Medicine.
Wow, amazing.
I'm a nerd.
I'm so proud of you because honestly, I've heard so much about you also through Deb, like all of our conversations, she'll tell me about you and the struggles, so I mean, I feel like I'm an aunt where I'm like so proud of you too.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. So it's like even with that, me trying to enter medical school and not having that luck, I was feeling the pressure on that and kind of just like unsure where my life was going. But
so did they want you to be a doctor?
Well, it wasn't that they wanted me to do. It was kind of like I was always good at science.
Okay.
So at first I was like, okay, maybe I should be a forensic scientist. I took a forensics class in high school, and I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. I think I can do this. But then it was kind of like my parents were like, you really don't make enough money doing that. So I'm like, all right, excuse me, maybe I'll be a doctor. But when I got my bachelor's, I didn't really know what kind of doctor I wanted to be. And then graduating, I worked within the sector of with people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. And doing that, I was just like, okay, like maybe I can be a neurologist. Like I can do that. I'm very, very great with the population. Like I said, I'm really great with people. So, I'm able to understand, people communicating with me, even nonverbal individuals. I was able to know, when they're sad, when they need something, or, when they just need company, just to show a little of attention, and just picking up on different behavioral cues as well. Like I'm very, very good at that. So
were you always good at that at a young age, or you picked it up when you were studying?
I said at a young age, because my grandmother, who I grew up with, she was a home care provider. So I would follow her around the house and help her with things and stuff like that. So I feel like the fact that, people with developmental disabilities were in my life at such a young age, and, we would treat them like family, cookouts, dinners, family reunions, and everybody in the family knew. So I feel like that was also one thing that helped me look at people for the, people who they are, not by color or disability or, religion or anything like that. So because of that, like I'm happy. I'm happy that I am the person I am, and I know I can use my skills in different aspects, like how I do with my cooking, or I do with science, or I do with my job right now. And as I continue to mature as an adult, I also want to give back as well. Like I see myself, having this cooking business, having some type of agency that helps provide services for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities, and going the biotechnological route and probably going to like gene therapy or something. So it's like I want to do a whole bunch of different.
That is so cool. And how old are you?
28.
28. Amazing. It's amazing all the different aspects that your brain is like so interested in and so open to everything. How did you get into food? Because of your dad, right?
It was my dad, but it was college. Being a broke college student, once the meal plan ran out, I was just like, all right, I got to do something. So I just started. I told people, look, you buy the food, I'll cook it. Let me take 1/3, you take 2/3. And I was just good at it. And I was just really good. I would watch shows all the time, like Top Chef and Master Chef. Like, all I watch is anime and cooking shows. So that kind of helped. But I'm I'm like, I can do this stuff. Like, I can do it too. And it was that. And then after graduating, there was just one day my mom was just, hey, why don't you just cook dinners? Like, you can cook very, very well. And
how old were you?
I was probably about 25 at the time.
Oh, okay.
And I'm just like, okay, like my first try, like $600. I'm like, the heck? Like, and this was like after, after my ingredients and stuff like that. So I'm just, in profit. So I'm just like, wait, I can do this. And then when COVID hit, it was just like, okay, everybody's kind of like scrambling for what to do. Me working in the healthcare industry, I did still have my job, but I knew what I was doing at that moment, I didn't want to continue to do. Yeah. So, with cooking, it helps provide financial freedom, but also I'm happy and I'm doing something that's making me happy and other people happy. When people come to me, if it's for like a catering event, and I love it. Like I love, I love hearing what they want and trying to put my own twist on it, and going shopping, doing price estimates, looking for different ingredients, and just it's trial and error. And I think that's also the scientist in me that does like to cook, because it's basically like a science experiment. The first time I make something, it probably won't come out the right time, but the second or third time I got it. And it's just like, all right, I got it. Now how can I elevate it? How can I elevate it? And I've met a lot of great people that, do different things as well as cook. I have some friends I have one great friend, his name's Chris. I can't even think Chris's last name, but he's a writer for the Daily News, but he also loves to cook as well. So he was somebody I was able to link up with, and we did a dinner party, and he like really pressured me. He really put the pressure on me and pushed me. He said, my go-to dish was a coconut curry salmon. And then he was just like, how can we elevate this? What can we do? Like, we want to serve it to people that it looks luxurious. And then he was just like, why don't you put the sauce on the bottom as you cook it to keep the skin crispy? And like, just from that, it just like definitely elevated my dish. So it just makes, like, you can even hear it in my voice. It just makes me so happy. It's just
yeah. This is amazing. I'm so happy you came on, because like, I want this podcast to be like something where it gives people tips and tricks of like how someone did it, what keeps you motivated, and how you get into the zone. So I love that you're so motivated. How do you stay like so positive and motivated to do all of these things?
You know what? I think it's a lot. It's a lot to have to do with my dad, to be honest with you. He's always pushed me as a kid. He's always told me, don't be mediocre. Basically, don't be mediocre. And if you're doing your best, then you're not kidding anybody but yourself if you're not doing your best, So just that, and me going, him taking me to Africa and just seeing, people that he's grown up with and how successful they are, and just being out in the streets, and also seeing people working for like $5 a day. It was just like, okay, I have it great, I have it good. So that's one thing, but two, I also have options, and I need to just I need to just utilize these options. And I don't want to regret anything. That's also one thing as well too. So it's just like, I just have to be the best person that I can be and just keep going. It's like, and I also get it from my mom. My mom is somebody who can't sit down whatsoever. So,
yeah.
it's just I just have to keep going, and it just have to keep going because there are things I know I want to do in life, and I also want to help people at the same time. So it's I can't stop.
Yeah. Does the pressure from your parents get a little too much, or you are in a good place where now you've come to an age where you're doing it for yourself to be happy and fulfilled?
Right. At first it was, I was definitely say like around college and probably like the first 2 to 3 years after graduating college, it was more pressure on my parents and kind of me getting through things. My grandmother passed in 2018, and then it was for some reason I was starting a program, getting ready to come back into school, a post-bachelorette program, and for some reason, something told me like read my personal statement to her, and I read it to her, and it just made her so happy about me experiencing life, working with her as a child, and going to school, and now coming to the workforce and working with people with disabilities. Now I know I want to become a neurologist, so it was that moment I was great, and I felt fortunate to share that with her. But also me going to school, I feel closer to her in a sense because I got to share this moment with her. So that I feel like motivates me a lot in a sense where when it comes to the school aspect and helping people. So it's just like, she's right there with me. So it's just like, I can't stop.
So you probably feel her spirit with you, right?
Right. Exactly. It's like when I'm not at school or when I'm not doing anything related to me elevating within that scientific career path, I feel weird. I just don't feel like myself. But when I am working towards it, it's just like, okay, I know she's here. I know she's happy. Let me keep going, because I love it. Just how I love to cook. Like I love science. I love the fact that, I'm finding ways to explain things, or, it's basically like when it comes to genetics, everything is all like a puzzle piece. I'm just basically solving this puzzle. Mm-hmm. So it's just, I'm a pretty convoluted person when it comes to my character. So I just love things that are.
No, I love all the different layers of you and how you explain it, because to me, it's like, honestly, you're like a mad genius scientist to me is what it sounds like. And I feel like it's like phenomenal. And for you to have like you like cooking and neurology, and then you have your grandmother who's helping you. Then you have Deb who's like artistic too, because then that artistic element is also represented in your cooking too. Right. And then you have your dad who's like go-getter, your mom who's always moving around. So it's nice to have you have all of the little bits of them that you've actually taken all the pieces that work for you, and then you're making it into your own.
Exactly. Yeah, you're right. You're totally. And it's so funny too, because my uncle even told me like the day of the funeral, he was just like, because my grandmother, she has 3 children, and he even said, he was like, it's crazy because out of all the children, I'm the most like my grandmother. Out of all of them. And it was just like, wow. It was just like I was attached. Like my grandmother was like I had 3 moms growing up. I had my biological mom, I had dad, and I had my grandmother. So, those 3 people really, including my dad, but those 3 women really shaped my life and really helped me.
So really strong women who you saw like their character, and you were able to pull from those people.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah,
that's amazing. I love it. That's like a beautiful story, and to get to know you and to hear your backstory, I feel like this is what helps the podcast, because I feel like every story will heal, and like to hear from your background and how you do things, it will help somebody else realize, oh, okay. Because like really, also the other thing I wanted to ask is that did racism affect you in any way as you were growing up or now?
Yeah, even with Dad is Australian. So when we walk in the city, we would get looks like I'm this, this Black kid, and there's this Australian lady. But
sure, you guys are super tall. You're like, how tall?
Right. I'm 6'5", and my dad's 6'8".
And 6'8", 6'8", and 6'5", like 2 very prominent, tall Black men walking around. Right?
Exactly. But you know what? It was also my relationship with Deb that helped me break that race barrier as well, to where it was just like my relationship with Deb was nothing about race at all. It was just about 2 people, and just we were able to understand each other, and she was able to understand me, and she never, even if I did something wrong, she never judged me, and I think that's when it comes to dealing with children, especially when it comes to dealing with children outside of another relationship. She was there for me. She was always there for me. It was never, I don't think I have any negative, I don't have any negative experience with that at all. And it's beautiful. So when I do think of racism and things like that, I just look at it as like it's a, it's basically a played out, just a played out state of thought. You know, it's just like at the end of the day, like we're all the same. We might come in different colors. We might have different explanations for things, but at the end of the day, we're all human beings. You know, we all have.
Yeah, we all are from the same race.
Right. You know,
like racism really is a figment of everyone's imagination because we are all the same. We all bleed the same. We're just different colors and we just look different. And that's it.
Right. That's absolutely it. So, you know, I just laugh at it now because, you know, I'm like I said, I'm 6'5", I'm a 6'5" African-American man. So, you know, when I do go into certain stores, you know, I get that look, but at the end of the day, I can't live my life. I'm tall, you know, I'm very, very tall. So I'm not the type of person to just walk down and have my arms hunched up, my shoulders hunched and look down. No, I'm proud. I'm proud because I am who I am. You know, I've just described who I am. So
yeah,
it's like I'm only focused on myself, you know, so I'm focused on myself. I'm happy with my life. I'm happy with the things I'm doing. I'm going to express and exude that energy. So it doesn't matter what people do or what people say, you know, until you know me as a person, then okay, you might can judge me. If you don't even know me, you know, we might be closer to each other than, you know, what you really know. It's just that barrier that's
just that barrier of like you don't know me, you just judging me for the skin. Were you ever like driving in Long Island and have any racism there? Like people pulling you over and
even in Pennsylvania it was more so. Well, yeah, it was in Long Island more, but even in Pennsylvania more so ever. It was just like I would be coming from Walmart and walking to my apartment complex, and I remember there was just this one cop, like he just drove by and just stopped me, like Dukes of Hazzard style, just stopped his car in front of me and asked me for my ID and asked me where I was going and things like that. And I'm just like, you know, what are you doing? And I'm sure he's looking for somebody, but at that time I had dreads too. So it was just like, all right, I'm like, you're probably looking for somebody, you know, doing something and it's not me, but you obviously pointed, you know, picked me out. And it's frustrating, but at the end of the day, you know, the world is so scary and how life has, you know, the events that have occurred in life, you know, I'm a very mellow person and calm, cool, collected person. So I'm blessed that I am able to control my emotions in given situations. Yeah. So I look at it like, you know, this one instant is not going to ruin the rest of my life. Yeah. So you know, this, and also people's actions and the way people, you know, do talk to you is a reflection of their own life. So I look at it as you're frustrated, or maybe you've gotten an order, or maybe you've been taught something, and you know all that frustrating is coming out and it's being directed to me, and then you don't even know me, so you don't really have a reason to really be frustrated or really to act a certain way to me. So I'm just like, you know, it's whatever you have going on. So I'm gonna do my best I can to deal with this situation, but I'm just gonna deflect. You know, I might need, you know, an hour or two to cool down, but I'm gonna do that I enjoy. I might cook, I might watch something, I might read something, I play a video game.
You ever like arrested for these, like being accused of anything or anything like that?
No, never. I've always been, like I said, I've always been smart. I've always been smart. I always known, you know, when my dad, it's funny, my dad, when I first started college, my dad said, nothing good ever happens at night. Right.
That's a good advice. You know, just don't go out when it's super late, because really there's stuff happening and they're probably looking for people. They're like, oh, we're looking for a black male, whatever it is. Like you fit into it.
Mm-hmm. Right, exactly. So it's just like I already know, like there's certain, like my friends will be like, all right, we're going over here. All right, maybe I'll go there, but the next party I'm not going, because I know what I can get myself into. So I was always able to play it smart and to play. Like I said, I'm 6'5", I'm a target, and I was in the middle of Pennsylvania at that. So I'm like, I'm an automatic target. So I'm just gonna do the best not to give anybody a reason to, you know, definitely you know, do anything or mess with me or say I'm or accuse me of something that I know
that you didn't do, obviously. Mm-hmm. Well, I am super proud of you, of the man that you have become, because I've heard so much about you. So now we can do a little bit of like quick little questions that I like to ask everybody.
Okay.
Are you working on anything exciting recently?
Hmm. I want to say, okay, yeah. So basically, what I'm doing, catering wise, is I want to do a dinner party coming up, and basically, I want to do like a 5 course dinner party. So I'm coming up with new recipes. I've been trying like using new fishes, and I basically want to set it so it's kind of like an appetizer, a fish dish, a main dish, a pasta dish, and then finally dessert. So this is kind of like I feel like this is like my full course. And that's basically what I'm trying to develop. So I have 2 down, but this is something I definitely want to work on. So it's basically like a staple for me because, when I think about cooking and, I look at Instagram and, you kind of see, what other people are doing. I'm not somebody that kind of gives you like really big dishes and a lot. Like I'm not the guy that's going to put steak on top of lobster, on top of crab and just give that to you.
Yeah.
I want to I'm more of some, I have my starch, my veggie, and my meat. I'm usually that type of person, but I want everything to be harmonious and work with each other. So, I figure, this is something that isn't really common, too much. And I think it would help me stand out as well. And also help me, discover myself more as a chef. So I think that's probably between that and my application for my master's program. Those are the 2 things I've been working on lately that I've been.
So this 5 course meal, are you doing it how are you serving it or presenting it? Or like, are you doing it as part of your cooking? Like, are you doing it at people's houses or are you doing it at your house?
Right. So yeah, that's how when I'm finished, I would just basically I would invite probably a few friends over, probably no more than 10. And then just presented like dish by dish, just more of kind of like a dinner party setting.
Well, I think me and Deb should definitely have a seat there. I would love there.
Okay, no, definitely, of course, you 2 are more than
I definitely
invited.
would love to come.
More than invited. And I just want to go through there, and I honestly I want to, and it's for me, like it's great to make money, but on the other hand, for me, it's really the reactions I get. Like you said, like when
Yeah, it really is the reaction because like it brings you joy because it's giving them joy. So it makes me happy to get to see that you loved it and enjoyed it and will continue to enjoy it and look at it every day. Like it brings me joy to know that.
right, yeah. So yeah, but yeah, so those are the 2 things I've really been working on.
Okay, awesome. Let's see. What is your deepest fear?
Um, I would say growing up, my deepest fear would always be just it was as a kid too. It was really funny, just like homelessness. Like that was always my biggest fear. Like as a kid, just like coming to the city on the weekends, I would see homeless people, and it was funny. I remember I was with Deb at the time too. When I actually, as a kid, I cried because just saw a homeless person. She was just like, "Why are you sad?" And I was just thought about it. Like I would always hate to be in a position where I wouldn't be able to support myself or have nobody around to help support me. And she was like, no, that's not gonna happen to you. You have me, you have your dad, you have your mom, you have your friend, you have family, which is, I got it, which was cool. But I've always had like, and I think this is something my dad has also instilled into me, but I always had this sense of independence where I don't I don't like to depend on anybody and I don't like to be a burden. So I think that's also one of my character flaws where I think I need to do something myself. And it stops me from asking for help, or I ask for help at the last minute where, if I did it before, the whole situation would definitely be easier. But to go back to the fear, whereas that was always my biggest fear in growing up. So once I graduated from college and I was able to like get my first full-time job, Deb said to me, she was like, now look at it, like you'll never be homeless ever again because now you have the tools that you need to succeed and flourish in life. I'm happy. I'm happy about that. But that was definitely like the biggest thing I was scared of.
Yeah.
Growing up.
That's hard, and that's a good driving force for you to push yourself because your dad came here from Nigeria, right? So then you are first generation being born here, right? So I feel like that drive. I feel like a lot of kids who come from like first generation parents and immigrants have that drive too, because their parents are pushing them so much. I came here when I was 3 years old. But I still feel I still like resonate with the first generation because I came here super young. So I feel like I was born here.
Right.
And like my parents have that same, I feel like Nigerian and also Asian families have that similar like push for their kids. Like you got to do great, you got to get straight A's, you got to succeed, you have to, you know, find a high paying like job. And,
Right.
you know, they really do push the kids, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, right. It's so true. And it's just like, I feel like now with me experiencing life and me working jobs and just, you know, tying to the whole race thing where, you know, I am a 6'5" African American man, you know, working in, you know, work environments. And, you know, I'm able to work with people no matter what, but it's just like sometimes, you know, I might not want a boss. I want to be my own boss. You know, it's hard where, you know, culturally it's like, you know, get that good job, get that salary. But, you know, at the end of the day, I don't want to be locked into that. I want to be able to make my own decisions and, you know, really, because I noticed that my work ethic increases when I can work with something that I believe in.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't want to be in a situation where I, you know, I'm depending on a salary or something. And this is something I don't believe in. This is something I really don't care about. This is something I'm not getting up happy in doing. And, you know, and I believe that, you know, I can make myself happy and be successful at the same time. You know, it might be a little harder, but, you know, I'd rather bank on myself.
Yeah, I feel like that's a super important tip to give out to everybody is to do something that makes you happy, that fulfills that purpose that you have, because, or that passion that you have ever since you were a kid or something like that. Because I found that out really, I mean, like I'm 46 years old now, and I realized, you know what, that one thing that I always wanted to do when I was younger will always tap you on the shoulder and be like, did you forget about me? We want to do art. That's all we want to do. Like, that's always been something that I love to do as a kid, is to do art. But I thought that it would be okay for me if I was in any sort of art. But that wasn't the case. It had to be something that resonated with me for me to be fully happy. And I love helping people too. And I love to service, I love to talk to people. And so I had to figure out like what it is that fulfilled me as a person. And one, I love to do art. Two, I like to help people and connect with people. So this podcast, along with starting Artandhustle, has kind of come full circle, where now I can talk to you, find out your passions and help other people, and also have this place where it's a beautiful, like Artandhustle melding pot of everybody that I've met, you know?
Right. No, yeah. And that's so great because it's like you're combining like every aspect about you, and you're able to put it on one platform. And I'm sure that brings you such enlightenment, such happiness.
It's a beautiful happiness, because now I realize as I talk to more people that the beautiful, like, my little tagline now is like, you know, I see art in everything. You know, it's the art of living now. It's not just art and hustle to get your art out there. It's the art of living. So that's why I want to get the essence of everybody's, you know, art of living. And it sounds like you've really stepped into that. So I'm so happy for you. And what is your 5-year plan?
My 5-year plan. So I would say, start this master's program. It's a year-long master's program. So after that, I see myself probably working, since biotechnology and entrepreneurship. So I definitely see myself probably working in like gene therapeutics and things like that. Not really sure what specific field yet, but doing that, I see my catering business definitely, definitely flourishing, and, you know, definitely having a set amount of, you know, events per month and things like that. Between those two things, I can't even, you know, those are my two main focuses right now.
I mean, those sound like a phenomenal, huge projects already.
Right. Outside of that, I can't really think of anything, but, you know, basically doing the two things that I like the most and excelling at them and doing them on a, you know, a higher level.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time today. Do you have anything else you want to let people know, a question for me or anything?
No, that's kind of it. You know, it's funny. It's like I always get a little nervous expressing myself, and then I explain myself. I'm like, wow, I'm pretty cool.
Wait, you know what? You say that. That's actually perfect because I always thought that I'm a super shy person, and I never wanted to be like in the forefront to be like a spokesperson or anything like that. So when I started Art and Hustle, it was always like, I'm going to do the show, but like, I really don't want to step out in front to talk to people. Right. And I was always super shy, but my partner was like, no, Linda, like during COVID, you can't do art shows anymore. So how can we keep Art and Hustle relevant? Because everyone loves the name, everyone resonates with it. And so he's like, no, you have to do it and you have to shine. This is your baby. And so you have to do it. And so me watching myself and editing the podcast, I feel the same way where you're like, you know what? I'm pretty good. Like I'm
Right.
actually, I have something to say and I'm not that bad.
Right. No, I definitely get how you feel.
Yeah. So I appreciate you taking the time today to tell us a little bit about yourself and your review of Glenn that you just received. So definitely take a photo of your process or a video of it, and then I can just like speed it up as I add it.
Okay, that sounds great.
I think that would be awesome. And honestly, I think we should definitely do some sort of like collaboration with your cooking and your science and Art and Hustle. Maybe we do like an art gallery dinner food, like
I'm totally with.
I think that would be so cool to mix like art, food, and have like a sit down dinner course thing where everyone's enjoying.
That would be
so
fantastic. And I'm even thinking about people like who we invite, and they would love something like that.
I think that would be beautiful. And then we can make it like where it's like a fundraiser sit down thing. So then we can continue these podcasts, continue your passions, get these stories out. I think that would be super fun.
That would be totally fantastic.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. And have a great day.
Thank you for having me, Linda. Take care.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Finally getting back to me, my art. All I want to do is art. And the other thing is that I love stories. So like to me, art isn't everything. Your art is your voice, your speaking, your connection. You can feel everyone's energy. That's your art. It's the art of living to me. So Art and Hustle to me is the art of living and art of it and everything.
I hope that you cut that piece right there and make it your intro and your outro, because that was dope.